Well, and in masks, I know you both wear ones at everyone, but still in masks, kind of don't know, right? In masks, it's kind of makes sense.
Oh, I know. I'm over there. Exactly. So.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Blake Voorhees. I am currently serving as the chair of the Murray Education Foundation. And on behalf of the foundation, I'd like to welcome all of you, those that are here in the room with us in a socially distant manner, and those of you that are participating via the broadcast online. We'd like to welcome you to our Pinnacle Award ceremony tonight. We, as a foundation, we're particularly grateful that we're able to do this. Under the circumstances and knowing that we are doing this different than it's been done in the past. For those of you that have participated in the Pinnacle Awards before, you know that typically our ceremony looks very different from this. But we are grateful for the opportunity to have this event. I hold in my hand, for those of you that are here, as people walked in, there was a program on their chair. And the program is still the same program that was printed for the awards ceremony when it was supposed to take place. And if you look at the date, it was March 12th, 2020. So tomorrow marks exactly 1 year from the date that Murray schools had to shut down and go to online learning, and our lives changed forever. And so as a foundation, as we've talked and met as the board, about the importance of kind of the events that have transpired and of the kind of the efforts that have been made in the school districts here, the school district here in Murray and in the schools to continue education and particularly innovate given changes in circumstances. We felt that it's very important that we still hold this event and recognize our teachers as a whole, and do that obviously in a way that by recognizing those of you that were award recipients last year, and we are grateful for you and your and all of our teachers, staff, and volunteers that participate in the school district. We're also particularly grateful this evening for our sponsors, those that help make these award events possible, for those of you that are participating as award presenters, and the award recipients and their families. And we hope that this will be a rewarding evening for you to recognize that your hard work is recognized and that it means a lot to a lot of people. With that, I'd like to turn the time over to the Superintendent of Murray City School District, Jennifer Covington, who will introduce our MC.
Thank you, Blake, and thank you for everyone who is here tonight. Again, different circumstances than we're used to, but so exciting to get to be with such a great group of educators and all of those of you who are supporting the educators here tonight. I have the honor of introducing our MC, and tonight's Pinnacle MC, Dee Wright, is no stranger to the Murray City School District. She retired last year, where she was employed for 15 years with us as the District Public Information and Communications Specialist. I think she's probably glad she retired prior to March 12th when things changed. So, Dee is a native of Kansas City, Missouri, and holds a degree with a double major in vocal music education and theater from Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri. After graduating and teaching music in elementary school and junior college, she spent time in California working for Walt Disney Studios in the special effects department. Returning to Missouri, Dee accepted a position with a local radio station as a staff copywriter and on-air talent. A trip to Utah resulted in a job offer at the Osmond Studios in Orem, where she spent several years as a producer in the commercial development division before being offered a job as a writer and producer at KSL Television in Salt Lake City, Utah. While at KSL, she often hired a radio guy named Doug Wright to voice TV commercials, and they ended up getting married. Doug and Dee were the first couple that Bonneville International Corporation, also known as KSL, allowed to continue employment for the company after marrying due to the nepotism rule at the time. This October, they will celebrate their 41-year anniversary, and they remain grateful for that exemption. Dee and Doug are the parents of 3 wonderful children and enjoy spending time with their grandchild, the very adorable Conrad. Dee likes to needlepoint, enjoys lunch with friends, and travel. Together, Dee and Doug view a lot of movies, and they like spending time with their family. The Wrights reside in the Holiday area with their 2 rescue dogs, Dagmar and Junebug. After a variety of public relations jobs, Dee feels grateful to have ended her career in the Murray City School District, considering it a privilege to spend time around so many wonderful colleagues and friends. To quote her, "Murray is such a unique and extraordinary community and will always hold a special place in my heart." And I would like to add that Dee holds a special place in the heart of the Murray City School District as well. So if you would join me in welcoming our MC for this evening, Dee Wright.
Thank you, Superintendent. Bring this down just a little bit, and good evening. And thank you so much for including me in this special and even historic evening. I say it's historic because, like so many firsts that we've had, this is the first time that the Pinnacle Gala has been done virtually. So I want to say hi to the people out there. Wave at us. We know if you're watching, we can see you wave, so wave back, okay? I've had the good fortune to attend every Pinnacle Gala except the first one in 2004. I started working at Murray in 2005, and when I began there, the then superintendent, Richard Tranter, said to me, "You're kind of going to have to figure out this job because it's a new position and we don't really know what it is, so you need to figure out what you'll be doing." I felt okay about the public relations and the promotions part. I'd had experience in that, but I didn't know a lot about the inner workings of the school district. So about 3 or 4 hours into my first day, guess who came bouncing into my office? Yes, it was Jeannie Habel, and she came in to explain to me all the details about the Murray Education Foundation, the Pinnacle Awards, and also to be a great resource for me about everything else in the district, and I've always appreciated that. In fact, I think she did give me my first job assignments and the longest running ones, and so she also became a good friend. So that was a good start to my career here in Murray. Along with the many dedicated members of the various Pinnacle boards that I've served with, we spent a lot of time on phonathons. Does anybody remember the phonathon? Okay. Golf tournaments, determining teacher grants, nature center signs. We had heated menu and color scheme debates for the gala, and many other very interesting projects. It was never dull, and it was always worthwhile. It's always been my observation that the sincere intent of the Murray Education Foundation Board has always been to serve the Murray City School District educators and students in whatever way possible, shining a light on the hard work and the dedication of the educators, administrators, and the great volunteers, and helping out whenever asked in the service of employees and children in the district. Believe it or not, there was a time when many of the employees in the Murray City School District didn't know what MEF was, nor the community. They didn't know what the purpose was. They seemed a little confused when it was mentioned. But I believe and hope that through the many years of dedicated service of this organization, that it has been well established, the great value of the Murray Education Foundation. And now we'll go on with the program. We will begin with this year's Pinnacle Recipients video presentation.
This teacher is amazing.
She works really hard to take care of those kids. Sometimes she comes home all upset and says, I don't know if I'm doing the best I can. And I says, you're doing the best you can. You just got to remember the kids are hard.
Sherry impacts so many lives, both students and teachers. She is the most humble, patient person you have ever met in your life. I have never heard a negative word out of her mouth about anybody, even as frustrated as she gets at times.
She's just there for them, and every day I've seen her sacrifices and the love that she has for her students.
Brady's efforts help every person in our district. People don't realize that Brady's the one behind the scenes who's really making it work.
As a technology coach, I rely on him a lot to help solve problems on the back end. He's always willing, really responsive, and can be trusted to take care of teachers and all the people who need him for support. So
he can troubleshoot anything, he can fix anything, and he always does it pleasantly and with a smile. We so appreciate Brady.
I've known Lisa for probably almost 30 years in different capacities as a friend, an adversary as we coached, as a teacher, and as a colleague, and I've never met anyone more dedicated to her profession than Lisa.
She's dedicated, she has great leadership. I enjoyed watching her coach and the interaction she had and the relationships she had with her athletes and just how much time she put in.
I'm just so happy for her. She deserves this award. She is certainly a Pinnacle employee, and we are just grateful to have her here at Harry High.
Mr. Moffett deserves this award because he's always there for his students through thick and thin.
As well as being there for students and stuff, he's always kind of just like a welcoming, friendly figure. You're always welcome to be in his class. I think that's really important as a teacher.
My dad deserves to earn this award because he's always put his job as one of his highest priorities and all of his kids. He knows them all personally and cares about them.
He connects with kids, the kids love his class, and we're happy to have her here at Harris High School.
So Monica is amazing whenever she does any volunteering. She's just super organized and thorough.
So you know how there are just people that show up everywhere? That's Monica and Cody. We can't forget to mention her husband. But they, like, even when their kids aren't involved in anything, they show up to clean up and to set up and just help wherever they're needed.
My mom works her tail off for hours on end.
It's hard not to get a little teary because she is so invested in her children and the children that are going to school with her, with her kids. She's amazing. She is just truly amazing.
One word, 43. 43 years in the same school, junior high kids, still loving it, enjoying every day, and just having that excitement.
Mr. Bodley is a great teacher, and I feel like he has a really good teaching style, and he just has the best heart, and he's so nice to all of his students.
Mr. Bod, I just love him. He is so fun, and he's great at roasting the kids, I must say.
What makes Randy great is he loves his students.
He's just the greatest teacher I probably ever had.
She's always energetic and she always helps everybody whenever they need help. She's very hardworking, and I know that she stays at the school for a really long time to be prepared for the next day and for us to learn. And it also makes me excited to go to school because I get to learn, but in a fun way. And also her smile, just it's fun to go to school, and her smile just makes me happy, and that's why I think she deserves that. She always is really patient with her students. Once we were reading a chapter book, we asked if we could read another chapter, and then she read another chapter for us.
My whole life I've seen how much my mom puts into her craft, always doing what she can to improve and be better as a teacher, and how much she loves and cares about her students.
Probably the thing I'd want to share the most is how much over the years she's loved the kids that she taught, and how much joy it's brought to her life, and worry too, as she's worried about some of the kids that she's taught.
She went ahead when she had children at home and did all of the work that she needed to do to become a teacher, and she's a wonderful teacher.
She gives her very best every single day.
We're here to let you know you are one of our recipients for this year, 2020. Let's give a round of applause. To let you know you are one of our Pinnacle winners this year. Teacher Mrs. Shaw has been selected as one of our Pinnacle winners. Hello, Mrs. Nguyen. How are you? Fine. Good. Over here, let's bring it. We have your family. We have the school board. We have the Missouri Education Foundation Committee. How are we doing? You're one of our Pinnacle winners this year. Let's give your teacher a big round of applause.
The educators we recognize tonight come from all different backgrounds and represent various roles in the education profession. They are role models who show our students how to work hard to reach their potential. They walk into our schools every single day because they love doing what they do and because they are enthusiastic about helping our students recognize the best versions of themselves. Murray City School District appreciates you. The students appreciate you. The parents appreciate you. Your work is critical to our success as a district, but most importantly, it's critical to the students themselves. Thank you to each of you for seeing the faces of our students in all that you do and giving them opportunities to learn and grow. You are a vital part of our We Are Murray spirit. Congratulations to our 2020 Pinnacle Award recipients.
I did hear that. So now we'll get on to our best part of the evening when we get to recognize the award winners. And what we'd like to do is ask the recipient and the presenters to come up at the same time. And so we will start with Randy Bodley and Samuel Fishatahu and Sheila Johnson. I'm sure I murdered that name, so come on up.
My cue came faster than I expected. Well, I know we only have a couple of minutes, so I will try to be brief, but what could be said about Mr. Randy Bodley? 2 minutes isn't near enough time. But I can start by saying that our relationship began when I was in his 8th grade geometry class. And I'm 27 now, and have been through college, and I'm kind of on to life's adventures, guiding horseback rides in Zion. So at any rate, my passion is also one of his that I share with his wife. She ran barrels on horseback when in previous days. So at any rate, so many teachers have an impact on our life, and I think many of us can take a few and say, yes, this one and that one, but I don't know how many you have a relationship with as many years as I have with Randy. Not only did he teach me 8th grade geometry, did he actually teach my driver's ed course. Not only did he teach me in those places where it was literally his job, but I actually sat in the driver's ed tower with him just outside in this parking lot, and he tutored me through business college algebra and I believe 2 other college courses. I think there are a few teachers who can say that maybe there are more, I hope there are more, but not very many that I know of that have taken the time and dedication and true interest in a student's life as Randy has in my own. And over this many years, I'm grateful to call him a great friend, mentor, and of course teacher. And so without anything else, I can say that this award is well deserved. And so to Mr. Randy Bodley.
Mr. Bodley is a man who loves what he does, and he loves where he does it, as evidenced by the fact that he's been teaching math at Riverview for 43 years now. He's also a man of many talents. He has not only taught math, but he's organized seminars for young women to encourage them to pursue classes and careers in math and science. He's coached basketball, and he must have nerves of steel because he's taught thousands of children, well, students in high school how to drive, including my own children. So he's well deserving of this award. And on behalf of the Kenny Rogers family and the Murray Education Foundation, I present this Pinnacle Award to Mr. Randy Bodley for excellence in education.
Thank you. Well, I think that means it's my turn. I talk all day with one of these on, so it's kind of weird to take it off. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that had anything to do with this. It certainly was unexpected. In fact, they didn't show it in the video, but when they were in my room, I
leaned down to Jeannie. I said, you know, with this selection, people are going to really start questioning your judgment. And her response was, I know. And so it was probably a surprise to all of us. But at any rate, thank you. It's, I'm honored to receive this. You know, I've worked with a lot of people over the last 43 years. And, you know, been at Riverview, obviously, for all that time with different principals, other teachers, superintendents, a bunch of those as well. And, you know, and these last ones with Jim and Earl, they've not just been my boss, but they're my friends. You know, I know their whole families, they know mine, you know, and it's really nice to work with friends. And then I work obviously in the math department at Riverview, and it's nice to work in the best department anywhere. You know, I have 3 young lady teachers that are excellent and do a lot to make the old guy look better. And I'm grateful for that. And it's part of the reason I stay is it's great to work with good colleagues. My wife sitting here, of course, has been a great support for all these years, you know, coaching. She'd come to the games, bring the little kids along at all the games and things, and has been to countless weddings, mission farewells of former students over the years, and so thank you for that support. You've met Sam briefly. I was wondering if he's changed his mind or, you know, got a date or something tonight other than me, but happy to hear. He just reminded me what it was like when he was in my class, I suppose, except he was quieter. So, you know, every now and then, as teachers, we don't a lot of times see a lot of positive things, but every now and then, you know, and I just want to share a little email that I got a little while ago from a young lady. She's now a little older than Sam. And I got this last year, I think. It says, junior high was a difficult time for both Z and I just wanted to reach out and let you know how much we both appreciate you now and appreciated you then. I just wanted you to know the immeasurable impact you have on your students and how much you impacted me in a positive way. You made schools much more bearable and so much less scary. You know, and I remember this young lady, but I don't feel like I did anything out of the ordinary. You know, I treated her like I did the other students, tried to support her, tried to help her. But, you know, to think that I can have a positive impact and maybe a lasting positive impact on a young person, well, that's why I've come back for 43 years and why I'll be back next year for year number 44. So people ask me all the time, why are you still here? Well, these young people, that's why I'm still here. And they're fortunate to still put up with me. So thank you.
Our next recipient is the volunteer recipient, Monica Giles. We'd like to invite Monica and her presenters, Marin Patterson and Brian Parker, to please come up.
I am so excited and honored to get to introduce Monica Giles tonight. As you all know, this has been a year in the making to be here. I wish that there was time to go over all of the things that I and many other people wrote in our letters when we nominated Monica, but the list would just be too long. Monica has been a dedicated parent volunteer at multiple schools in our district in her decade of service. I am so glad that the video showed some of Monica at the play, because last year, when there was some uncertainty about what was going to happen with the school play at Riverview Junior High, Monica took action to solve a problem that she saw. Having no background in theater, acting, or producing plays, she stepped up to help organize the school play as its producer. She reached out to others to find a director, a choreographer, recruited teachers to help build sets, In fact, after months of preparations and rehearsals and coordinating costumes and renting microphones, the play was put on hold on its opening night. It quickly became clear that schools were closing and that performing the play that everyone had worked so hard on would no longer be possible. What a disappointment for all those involved, especially the students who had worked so hard and were anxious to perform and show their talents. As we learned from this last year, living in a global pandemic, life is unpredictable. In true Monica fashion, she moved forward with an optimism that I deeply admired. There's so much to say about Monica and all that she does, but suffice it to say, Monica is a truly radiant person. Monica, is at every PTA event. Whether large or small, you can find her helping at the spelling bee or volunteering on picture day. She's always the one to offer a helping hand and makes our PTA better. She not only is willing to give her time as a leader, but she's willing to support other leaders. When being the president was so much harder than I could have predicted and I wanted to quit, Monica was there to point out the good and help me keep going. Monica is an asset to any group and PTA that she is part of. Despite anything that she is going through, she beams positivity and cheerfulness. Monica is a friend who listens and offers great, thoughtful advice. With her wisdom and experience, she has helped me navigate some impossible situations. I am so grateful for her service, support, and friendship, and I'm overjoyed that she won this well-deserved honor. Congratulations, Monica.
I really want you to get up here, too. Okay. Thank you, Monica, for your service. On behalf of MHTN Architects and the Murray Education Foundation, it is a sincere honor to award this Pinnacle Award to Monica Giles.
That is really cool. Thank you so much. Marin, that was so sweet. Coming from someone like you, it's an honor to hear those things. I forget to take this off sometimes too. I work with it as well. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that sweet introduction and for this wonderful statuette. I really appreciate that. And thank you to the Murray Education Foundation for year after year honoring people who work so hard. I really think that's fantastic. I, of course, also was appreciative of the great, amazing gift basket that we all got to enjoy. I had the shock of the century, and you can see probably in the videos how much I didn't know. I don't think I understood what happened until I got home. So they had brought me there on a totally different reason. So I just was, very surprised. And there are people who have gone before who I have spent a lot of time volunteering with who have won this award, and I didn't think that that was something that I was on the same page as these other women have been. In my neighborhood and friends years and years ago, I had quite a few of these women like Cherie Larson and Laurel Fetzer and Becca Westonsko, who many Murray School District knows are the heavy hitters, and those were the people that I was learning from. They asked me years, I'm a few years behind them with our kids in school, and they asked me when my youngest was in kindergarten if I was going to be involved in PTA, and I said, no, I don't really think that's anything I would be involved in. And then, of course, fast forward like 2 years, and I was a co-PTA president at Horizon. So it sucked me in pretty fast, but I saw pretty quickly how wonderful it is to be a part of the school district and a part of volunteering and helping and working with the children. I, in the meantime, was able to work with other amazing parents like Marin and made great friends and learned as they contributed their unique talents and all their abilities to create something great. It's really fantastic to see how many people come together to make something happen. The principals and teachers are so supportive in our district. I don't know. I've heard different things in different places, but I feel like nothing but full support and communication and effort. And I'm also grateful for the secretaries and the custodians. They help the PTA in volunteering so much. I can't cry because my 11-year-old told me it would ruin the mood. So he knows me well. And so they are behind the scenes helping with all the coordinating and the scheduling and the setting up and the staying late to take down. And you become good friends with them as you're helping with coordinating events. The Murray School District has been an incredible district to work with. I feel very often impressed with the leadership and communication with the citizens of our district. And when we found that the musical at Riverview was going to struggle to be going on, and I went to the district and said, what can be done, what can we do? I had very quick response. Scott Bushnell met with me, Jim Bauman was there, and we worked together to say, what are we going to do until we can hire someone who could be in charge of that? And I just thought, I don't think that's something you see often. I appreciated that they were willing to listen and to work together and to see what I need to make it happen. I wasn't really thinking it was going to be me, but sometimes when you talk, you get roped in, and that's okay. That's all right. It was with the intention of that not being a long-term solution, and they have already hired someone and are moving forward with that. And so it just makes me feel so grateful for the way that all happened. I trust the district and their time and effort that they put into the students in this district and listening to the teachers as well as the parents and all of those things as they work together. Also, of course, I have to mention my husband, Cody, and my children. See, this is when I'll cry. He should have known. Can't talk about my kids. They just share so many hours of me, or maybe it's a benefit in some ways, but they are so helpful as well. They've helped come along a lot of times behind the scenes and sometimes right in front, helping to make it happen. So I couldn't help as much as I do without that. And so I know I feel grateful for this. I feel like it helps me much more than anyone else. So I'm grateful for that and for everyone who participated in that.
And our next recipient from Longview Elementary and her presenters, Cherie Heaton, would you please come up with Sarah Persley and Scott Harding? Sarah's first.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be here tonight to thank Mrs. Heaton for being such a wonderful teacher to me. Mrs. Heaton, I came into your class to learn and grow. But what has touched me most is to love. You have shown me. Thank you for teaching me, being patient, and helping me grow. I always love to come into your class and sing you every day. You took my hand, opened my mind, and touched my heart. Congratulations, Miss Heaton. I love you so much.
What a great evening. On behalf of Miller Family Philanthropy and the Murray Education Foundation, we'd like to present this Pinnacle Award to you for excellence in education. Congratulations.
I am grateful for Sarah, for her sweetness, for her efforts that she makes every day. And I am so honored to be a recipient of this reward, or this award. I had thought of a story that I'm sure you've all heard of that I just wanted to quickly relate. It's called the Starfish Story, and it's about a man who's walking along the beach, and he sees a little boy down the beach throwing something into the ocean. He's not sure what it is. As he gets closer, he sees that he's picking up starfish and throwing them back into the sea, and he asks him, "Why are you doing that?" And the little boy says, "The tide is going out, and all of these starfish are going to die." And the man looks at him and says, "There are miles of beach and hundreds of starfish. You don't even make a difference." And the little boy picked up a starfish and he said, "I made a difference to that one." And I think that is so true. All of you here, the foundation that encourages goodness and acknowledges those efforts. I am so grateful for that and grateful for all the good works that all of you do in rescuing and lifting and being a part of people's lives. And I am again honored to receive this. Thank you.
Our next Pinnacle Award recipient is from Murray High School, Ryan Moffett, and his presenters, Ben Porter and Kendall Smith.
I was a little surprised to be here tonight on short notice, but either way, I'm glad to be here and present Mr. Moffett. He's been a great help to me in my work in his class, and he's inspired me to continue with my passion in ceramics and to create things that are really heartfelt. And I've been able to watch him make his breathtaking pieces and to see him help all these other students and help them find joy in art and other aspects of their life. And I think that he has really earned this, and he's been a great teacher and a great friend, and overall, I think you've done a great job, so thank you.
On behalf of Hughes General Contractors and the Murray Education Foundation, it's my pleasure to present to you this Pinnacle Award for Excellence in Education.
Thank you. That was nice, Ben. Thank you. I get up every day and wing it in class and have a prepared speech. I'd like to thank Ben. He's an awesome kid. Like his artwork is amazing. You would all be so impressed. I also want to thank the Murray Education Foundation. They've always been so supportive, and all the things they help to bring into my classroom with the grants. It's great. I also feel a need to recognize and thank Glo Merrill for the nomination. She's been such an influence in my whole career in all the many different roles that she played ever since she was my very first vice principal, and even now on the school board. So I want to thank her as well. A special thank you to my family. Melanie is back there, and she has stood by my side through every single school year, including the first year, which was full of lots of super stressful, panicking moments as a first-year teacher. It just doesn't seem like any of those moments, those first-year moments have never disappeared. I get nervous every single year. I want to also thank my 4 daughters and 2 sons-in-law who are an inspiration and keep me updated on the current trends so I can relate to the high school kids. And I also have to give a special shout out. You're looking right here at Papa Moffett because I have my very first grandchild coming this summer. So super excited about that. My family is definitely my happy thought and keeps me going. I want to give a shout out to my parents as well for recognizing at a very young age my interest in art and signing me up for my very first art class in 4th grade. And it just never died. The passion never died. And I had so many great art teachers in future years that just kept that fire burning. And I found a journal that I wrote in a journal. I know that's weird as a kid. I wrote in a journal, and I found an article or an entry in my journal, right fresh out of high school, that said, "Did some serious thinking today about being an art teacher." I've always wanted to be an art teacher, and I tell my kids every year when they come to my class, I say, "This is my dream job. I love being here and I love being with you." And I mean it, and 24 years later, it's still true. I love being an art teacher. Although I think working for Disney would have been really fun. Maybe that's how Murray got so many gigs from Disney, I'm not sure. I'm so thankful for the people that value the arts enough to make it a part of our schools. I've come to a realization over the years that art saves lives. I mean that, it really does. Yearly, I see students come to my class and light up when they create. It's so fun to watch. Every year I have students that keep coming to school only. This is really weird. I have students that come only because of their ceramic class, and they keep coming to school, all of school, because of ceramics. And that's pretty awesome to see that. I have students that connect with other students that you wouldn't expect them to connect. They connect with other students because of their passion for the arts and for clay, and that's so valuable. Even before this pandemic hit, I noticed a need for students to connect with community. And now, with all the forced isolation, loss of normalcy, fear, anger, anxiety, uncertainty, political unrest, global pandemic, other global issues, that is such a critical thing to have connection. A study that recently came out of Harvard, I was so shocked by this. A study came out of Harvard that said loneliness is more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And loneliness kills. It is my hope that moving forward, we can provide safety for our students by giving them a community in which to connect. So, Murray School District, be watching for more opportunities for our students to connect from the art department at Murray High School. Thank you.
Our next Pinnacle Award goes to our classified employee this year, and that recipient is Brady Nelson. Brady's presenters should come up with him now. That would be Jackson Gross and Jeannie Dottle.
I've been asked to introduce my Uncle Brady. Here are some really great things about him. He's very nice and keeps us cool, even when me and my brother are being crazy and annoying around him. He cares a lot and wants to help in any way he can, even when it's inconvenient for him. Even after a long day or week at work, he still makes time to help with whatever our family needs help with. He's a fixer and a problem solver. There hasn't been a problem, especially a technical problem, that he hasn't been able to fix ever. I am honored to introduce my Uncle Brady for this award. He definitely deserves it.
Brady, on behalf of the Dr. Maurice Baker family and the Murray Education Foundation, we present you with this award for your excellence in education.
So this is probably my 7th or 8th Pinnacle Award. Unfortunately, this is the first one behind the microphone and the spotlight. I'm a lot more comfortable behind the soundboard, doing the audio video stuff. So I'll keep it kind of short. I just want to thank my nephew Jackson for presenting me, and the Murray Education Foundation, and the Murray School Board for everything that they do for me. Thank you.
And the next Pinnacle Award goes to Grant Elementary teacher Ginger Shaw. We'd like to have Ginger come up with Yuche Eke Yuko and Paul Metcalf, please.
Hello, my name is Duce, and I'm here to tell you why Mrs. Shaw is the best teacher at Grant. 3 things that make Mrs. Shaw the best is that she's creative, a problem solver, and she's unique. Mrs. Shaw always said, if something's wrong, and if something wrong is happening, and if you don't do anything, nothing will change. And these words have stuck with me and helped me make a good decision. Mrs. Shaw makes you feel important in class and just doesn't count you as another student. She takes the time to learn about you. If you have a sport that she'll play, if you invite Mrs. Shaw, she'll try her best to come support you. She even went all the way out to Harriman to see me play. Since I play soccer, I'm a positions goalie, and I block a lot of shots. She calls me Stonewall Jackson, which I always thought was a funny nickname. During my time in Mrs. Shaw's class, I saw that most people who started the year saying I can't do any of this end up unlocking their potential and realizing that if they try and put a good effort in, they can succeed. Even after school is over, she still does the most she can do to help her students and even other grade levels and classes. On Thursday, she runs a tutoring program that she made herself without the school telling her to do it. And she provides drinks for the students too. She does it out of the goodness of her heart. To be kind is to be Mrs. Shaw. Thank you, Mrs. Shaw, for being the best teacher I've ever had.
On behalf of Granite Credit Union Murray Education Foundation, we're happy to present this Pinnacle Award for Excellence in Teaching to Ginger Shaw. And I take this real personal because my kids had her at Grant Elementary, and they still talk about it all the time, about origami and escargots. Thank you.
What an honor. What an honor to be recognized. There are so many teachers that put their heart and soul in teaching. Teaching is the only profession that teaches all the other professions. And I think of the joy that I get from being a teacher. The kids keep us young and help us. I do go to their soccer games and their basketball games and their dances, and maybe parents have to go, but teachers get to go. And it's a joy to watch them in a different light, to be able to see them and to see their strengths. Like was said earlier, in the arts, you get to see these children as they perform. We touch lives forever. I'm grateful, and I wish every teacher could have this joy of coming up here and being recognized for all the work they do. There's another saying that says, teaching you steal from home to take to work. And I think of the things that I take to work that matches my personality, is a little bit out there. We do different things in the classroom to make it fun and exciting for them so that kids want to come and enjoy school. Teaching in Murray. Randy, you've got me beat. I've been here 34 years at Grant, and I always tell people, think of Gilligan's Island, think of Ginger. Her last name was Grant. So I am not Ginger Grant, but I am Ginger from Grant. And I have to tell you, I love teaching there. I keep saying it's the best kept secret. And Sam, we remember you coming through our classrooms as well. Thank you for this honor, and thank you very much. Thank you.
And our next Pinnacle recipient from Murray High School, a person who wears a lot of hats, Lisa White. And along with Lisa, we'd like to invite up Amy Knox and Mildred Horton.
Oh, this is really an honor to be here to help present this award to Lisa White, who I can think of no one that deserves it more. I've known Lisa, I got to Murray High School in 1999, and Lisa had been there a couple of years prior to myself. And my first 8 years at Murray, I was a special education teacher, and Lisa was in the PE department. And I got to bug her and beg her to do everything possible to help every one of my students. Please let them run an extra mile. Please, I'll go with them on the track. Please pass them. Please let me get them a credit in your class. And she never, ever said no. And I think that was one of the first moments that I realized just how much her dedication and her love for kids and what, no matter where they were, she took them where they're at and helped them grow from that moment forward. Fast forward to 2016, when we were fortunate enough in the counseling center. I had been in the counseling center about 8 years, and I remember that our former principal had asked me, we had an opening in the counseling department, and he said, well, I know someone that I think would be good. Did you know that Lisa White had her counseling degree? And I said, well, I knew she was almost done. And he's like, I'm going to get her to do it. And I said, okay. She had a pretty great job in the PE department. So we had conversations back and forth for a long period of time, and I think I just dragged her through that door to start her journey as a counselor. And again, I couldn't be more excited when she started working in our department. Lisa is an amazing person. She will do anything that's asked of her, with no complaints. She's got sometimes way too much on her plate, but her giving nature, her kindness, her love for Murray High School absolutely takes precedence over anything else. So I have a little initial thing I'm gonna do. I was gonna sing, honestly, but I decided that would probably not be my best. But I did. On the way over here, I was like, how could I do the 4 letters of Lisa's name, and I could just sing a song? What about that song, Love? L is for the way you look. I thought about that, only I thought I could do it with Lisa. But then I'm like, no. Let's just not do that. So I'm just gonna say it, and in your mind, you can say, oh, that tune from Natalie Cole, that's coming to me right now. So L is for the way she listens with love and compassion. I, the way she inspires others to do and be their very best. S is for the way she stands up for those in need who need it most and sticks to her commitments with no questions asked. And A asks nothing of others, but always asks how she can help. Lisa embodies everything a good counselor is, a good friend is, and most of all, a wonderful person. Congratulations.
I had the privilege of having a granddaughter that played sports under Lisa, so I asked her to just write me a short little text. Well, she said, Grandma, it has to be more than a short text, so here we go. Coach White lives in the background of my best and my worst high school memories. I remember early morning in the women's athletic, running around the track, chatting with my friends while Coach White yells at us to pick it up or keep up the pace. Or afternoon volleyball practices, when doing defensive drills, she would stand on a ladder and toss volleyballs all across the court with the expectation that we would just touch each ball, but we would have to return it with a perfect set to the setter. In my mind, Coach White is the toughest coach there ever was and ever will be. While I still have nightmares about the stadium she would make us run and the drills we had to endure, Coach White always lives in all of my best high school memories also. She was there, cheering me on when I beat out all the other girls in a really tough drill that she was doing. She was there when when I received the game-winning kill. She was there to comfort us after a devastating close game that slipped through our fingers. She was there when I got an offer to play college volleyball and celebrated with me when I accepted it. Behind being fearless player behind every fearless player is a fearless coach who refused to let them be anything but the best that they can be. Coach White refused to let us give up, even when everything around us and everything going on in our lives, and told us that we could not fail. She was just a coach to us. She was much more. She was a needed friend during the toughest teenage years, and I know I speak for hundreds of young women who feel this exact same way. You taught me to be fearless and tirelessly resilient in the face of adversity, and that resilience has made me the woman I am today. Thank you, Coach White, for all your years of coaching and the sacrifices you made to coach the next generation of powerful women. That was from my granddaughter, Elise. And then Rosie Huff gave this example, which will sum it up. She said, "I've never had a coach who I knew cared so much about me and my success, and yet scared the living daylights out of me. Love you, Whitey." So on behalf of the Huff family and the Murray Foundation Association, it is a great honor and a privilege for me to present this Pinnacle Award to Lisa White.
I'd like to thank the Murray Education Foundation for this. This is pretty cool. And I thank Amy and Ms. Horton for your kind comments, and Rosie Huff and your granddaughter for those amazing comments. Yes, I'm sure they have a lot of bad memories, a lot of long practices and early morning and Saturdays and things like that, but to take it from a coaching standpoint, I'm not standing up here because of me. I'm standing up here because of a team effort. I'm only as good as the people around me. So, number one, I got to thank my parents that instilled in me hard work, integrity, trust, and to never quit. And if you're going to do something, you do your best. And as my dad would say, you do it the white way, his way. So I've got to thank them. Two other people I've got to thank is why I went into education, and that was my coaches from high school, my junior high coach, and my high school coach, which were two very strong women that taught me that I could be anything I wanted to be. And they were there for me, and they pushed me. I learned a lot from them, and I took a lot of my coaching and teaching from them, and that is why I chose to go into education. I thought, well, I knew I wasn't going to beat Randy, but I thought I'd be close. And then Ginger, I'm not going to beat you either, but I'm close. But I've been at Murray, I've taught for 28 years. I've been at Murray for 26. I don't know anything different, and I don't want to know anything different. The journey has been amazing. The people I've worked with have been amazing. From the PE department, from coaching, and now into my final, where I'll stay, is the counseling department and an athletic director. And the support I have, it can't be any better, from who I work with day to day, to the people in the community, the parents I get to deal with, the kids I get to deal with, and our amazing superintendent and administration. So I thank everyone. Murray is awesome. I am truly a Spartan. Orange and black is my blood, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.
And our final Pinnacle Award goes to Sherry Nguyen from Macmillan Elementary, and we'd like to have Sherry come up along with Kealia Nguyen and Jeff Dodge.
I am here tonight to introduce Sherry Nguyen as a 2020 Pinnacle Award winner. I am lucky to not only know her as a teacher, but I am extremely lucky to also call her my grandmother. I was able to attend McMillan Elementary for all of my elementary years of schooling. It allowed me the unique opportunity to see firsthand just how much work goes into being a teacher worthy of this award. I spent countless hours before and after school in my grandmother's classroom watching her plan out lessons, create documents, cut out items for art projects, decorate her classroom in a different theme each month, hang art projects in the hallways, and many other tasks along the way. I also got to see just how much she cared for each and every student who has entered through the classroom over the years that she has been a teacher. I know that she has touched countless lives over the 25 years that she has been a teacher in the Murray School District, and she will continue to do so in the years to come. On behalf of myself and my family, I want to let her know how much we love her and how proud we are of her. Not only for being a dedicated teacher who has poured her heart into her profession for so many years, but for also being the best mother and grandmother we could ask for.
So Sherry's one of Murray's own. Kindergarten at McMillan, right? Longview for elementary, Hillcrest Junior High, and a graduate of Murray High School. So a true Spartan from start to finish. So it's my pleasure on behalf of Naylor Wentworth Lund Architects and the Murray Education Foundation to present you with this Pinnacle Award for Excellence in Education.
Wow, I don't want to start crying, and she's kind of gotten me there a little bit. Isn't it wonderful to be able to have a granddaughter present you or have a little talk before you get your award? And I've been so privileged to take her to school with me every day for 7 years and home, and we've had a lot of fun together. I'd like to also thank the Murray Education Foundation and all of you wonderful teachers out there. Even though I don't know most of you, I know that you have put in a lot of hours, and this is just a small moment in time that you're recognized for all of the work that you've put in. I'm deeply honored to be here tonight, and I was so surprised last year when several people from the district and my family walked into my room, and I realized I'd won the Pinnacle Award, and I felt so humbled that parents, educators, and others nominated me for this special award, and I just want to thank you so much with all my heart. I'd also like to thank my husband who, he has supported me throughout all of my endeavors. We had 6 children within 10 years, and when my youngest started first grade, I decided to go to college. And get my degree. And my mom was a teacher, and so as I would help out in the classroom with my kids as they were growing up, I just started getting this burning desire inside of me that I wanted to teach. This is where I wanted to be. And after several years and working long, going to school a long time and spending so much time away from home, I finally graduated, and we were still married. Isn't that wonderful? I'd also like to thank all of my children and my 12 grandchildren. They're not here tonight, but some of them were able to come last year, and it was just so tender. By March, you kind of really get to know your class really well, and I've taught first and second grade throughout my 25 years, and I really love after Christmas because it seems like they really get to understand my jokes when I tell them. And you really want school to be a fun and safe place for your kids, and I love and honor them and value them, and I have even taken the fall for them, so I have a short little story. One day we were all sitting around the rug, and the kids were sitting in front of me on the floor, and a little girl let a loud stinker, and the other kids, they start shuffling away, and they go, oh, I think it was her. Oh, no, I think it was him. And finally she pipes up and said, it was Mrs. Nguyen. So
I just smiled and let them go and carry on. But you know, you do anything for your students, and as teachers, we want to protect our children. We put in a lot of time and money to help provide the best education possible, and not only me, but you know, all of my colleagues, they're there thick and thin to help me when I have bad days. They're there to help me, to encourage me, and they help celebrate with me when I have good days. Well, last March was a hard and scary time for everyone, and I remember that last day as we're hurrying, trying to get some plans out with the kids, with their computers, and I thought, gosh, I have so many things I still want to teach them and so many fun things I want to do. And I felt like I lost part of my family that day. You know, it's really hard to say goodbye at the end of the year, but this was even harder. They left a big hole in my life. And I know this last year's been hard for everyone, and I hope the students who have gone through this pandemic will come out stronger by knowing that they can do hard things. I feel they're stronger because they've had to find it within themselves to work through not being able to do most of the things they've taken for granted. Some have had to learn to entertain themselves. Some have had to learn to like their brothers and sisters and get along with them. Some have learned how to play board games that were, you know, dusted off and pulled out of the closet, even put puzzles together, and families even ate dinner together more often. We even had extended family Zoom kind of parties or games on the computer with our extended family, and I know there were many other positive things. And I'd like to think about the future that these kids have coming up, and they'll always have this story to tell of not only surviving the pandemic, but growing in spite of it. And they're going to grow because they're resilient and because they have you out there to help them each year as they move on to another grade, and they have another teacher who will look out for them and love them and honor them and help protect them. I'm in awe of what all of these kids have been able to do and all that they've been able to overcome. I'm so grateful that I'm a teacher, and that, again, I want to thank all of my students. I want to thank my family, and especially thank all of you. Thank you.
What a wonderful evening. As each individual has been talking, I'm a note taker, so I just wrote down a couple of things that I think are so poignant, that really speak to the service that all of those who are recognized tonight provide to our students. Things such as immeasurable impact, optimism, touching hearts, goodness, passion and joy, connection, seeing potential, dedication and love, and protectors. In a year that has been challenging, with many, many things that have been different, the one thing that I can say is, educators, it's all about the relationships that you build. And thank you for building those relationships with our students, to give them those opportunities to become the individuals that will grow and thrive after they leave our classrooms and after they leave our systems. So thank you to each of you who have been recognized and honored tonight for the work and the service that you do in the Murray City School District. We are fortunate to have you, and thank you for choosing Murray. Let's give all of our recipients one more round of applause. As we conclude the evening, we would like to, first of all, make sure each of our, those who have been recognized this evening, pick up their photo, as well as the video for them that is in a box there. And we would also like to have you stay for pictures. So pictures are an important part of this, to memorialize this. And so we will have Doug Perry kind of organize with where the pictures are going to be. So that concludes our evening. Thank you for being here with us this evening. We appreciate each of you.